Welcome to the Sisterhood Spotlight. We are a video podcast that highlights and celebrates women who have overcome obstacles and challenges in life. Through it all, they have triumphed in the face of adversity to become successful in their own right. In the Sisterhood Spotlight, I am shining the light on women who have made a difference in their world. Women such as yourself who represent all of us. We are entrepreneurs, community leaders, corporate professionals, speakers, and coaches who inspire, motivate, and encourage others by sharing their stories, their knowledge, and wisdom. Sharing one's insight on their journey to success can be impactful. So, thank you for coming on today's journey with me. I am Doreen Alvarez and I am your host. I couldn't be happier to shine the Sisterhood spotlight on an honoree from the Empowered magazine, Adrian Trice. Please welcome Adrian Trice. Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. First of all, I want to congratulate you on being featured in Empowered magazine. How do you feel about being nominated and selected to share your story?
Definitely a privilege. Not only being nominated, it just put me into a space where there are some other phenomenal women. We all have these amazing stories that we can draw from. So part of that was to be part of Pat Gilliam's, group of network, the Sisterhood Extravaganza, and it's been a wonderful journey ever since. So definitely a privilege.
Now, I do remember you from the Empowered Women Summit. I can't forget that smile.
Oh, thank you.
So, can you please share with us what your accomplishments are?
Well, the one that I would lead with, I am a mom of three sons, 25 and soon to be 15 and 23. There's a lot that comes with that, a lot of busyness. I've been a football mom for now 18 years. My youngest is currently playing football, and then I was a mom who had a son in college football. So very competitive household, very sports-like. And then I also co-own a tax and business strategist firm with my older son, who's 25. So he is my partner in crime, my friend, and he is also my, co-own this business with me. So yes, those would be the biggest accomplishments that I have.
I love that. I love that. And I love the fact that you are a full time mom and you're running a business and you own your business with your son. That's beautiful.
Yes, we just learn a lot from each other.
That's beautiful. So many parents today don't have that type of relationship with their children. So whenever I meet somebody and I hear that they have a fantastic relationship with their children, it just warms my heart because I have that wonderful relationship with my children. It's like I don't understand it. Like, why are these children not close to their parents and vice versa? I can't imagine.
Yeah. When they get older, it's a different thing, isn't it? It's you turn from mom to being a guide,
Hmm.
and just creating that space where they can come to you. So very transparent relationship with all three of them, because they're still in their life's journey. So
Yes. Yes. My kids are 18 and 19. They're still babies. I still see it, but they're on the brink of adulthood, and
yes.
it's just so beautiful to see them grow. But let's talk about you. Off camera, we had this wonderful conversation about finding time for ourselves. And I would love for the audience to hear how you do that because first of all, you are a full-time mother and a full-time business owner. You're an entrepreneur. Um, and like many of us, you don't have much time. So
Right.
share with us, how do you find time for yourself?
I think you have to just create that space, and that creation comes from self-value, right? I mean, the things that I do in my spare time daily would be working out, finding time to do physical activity, finding that time to even go into meditation daily. But you just create it because you start to realize that you can't compartmentalize your life. You can have good money, but your health, if it's failing, it really doesn't work. So you have to just make those things that create, I don't know if they say balance, but I don't believe in that because that's hard, but harmonious. maybe a better term, creating a more harmonious life depending on your life cycle. But it comes from self-value. And so if you lead with value, you're going to go follow suit with the action.
Absolutely. I like that. It is self value. How do you value yourself? Are you willing to make that investment in your health? If you're
Right.
willing to make that investment in your business and your future, you've got to make that investment in your health, because if your health is bad, how long are you going to be able to run your business?
Absolutely. I
And
agree.
that's exactly what we talked about off camera. Now, you are 45 years old. I can't believe that. You look amazing.
I have a great
Um,
esthetician.
what?
I said I have a great esthetician. She's amazing.
Yes, estheticians are great. But but honestly, you shared with me that you like to work out. So many people go see their esthetician and their surgeons and their doctors and their nurses, and they get injections here and there and everywhere else because they want to look younger, they want to feel younger. But the truth is, the fountain of youth is in your muscles.
Yes.
And I would love the audience to hear your journey. You talked about this illness that you had, and you actually healed yourself holistically.
Yes. So at the onset of the um, pandemic, I was given this diagnosis. It's called granulomatous mastocytosis, and it is a inflammatory breast disease, idiopathic. No one knows how I got it. I really want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but it did cause severe inflammation to the point where I couldn't walk without medication. And after 6 weeks and an invasive surgery, I went in for surgery and came out with a wound. I decided to take myself off of antibiotics and start the naturopathic journey of healing myself. And I have not had an occurrence in the last, I don't know, over 2 years. I celebrate no reoccurrences, and I attribute that to mindful meals, being aware of what I'm eating. And then I work out, depending on my cycle, anywhere between 4 to 8 times a week. Stress levels, of course, at the 8 times a week. Definitely, you said muscle. So I do have a personal trainer. I train with her anywhere between 3 to 4 times a week. And just, bringing those two things together has helped with the journey.
I'm so glad that you have a personal trainer. People are often afraid to make that investment in a personal trainer. Now, I don't know about you. When I go to the gym alone, sometimes I just don't have the motivation.
Mhm.
Sometimes before I became a personal trainer, I didn't know what I was doing. And so I love the fact that you have a personal trainer who is helping you, guide you through this journey. It's really important to make that
It's
investment in
super.
yourself.
It is extremely important because I had a breast disease, and I've had personal trainers all my life. I was extremely fit prior to all of this happening. But when you stop using muscles, I think having her help me with form, so I don't get injured, right? So many of us have been out of the gym, we're going to get injured, but building my strength up to lift what I've been lifting in my 20s and 30s, especially recently, has been phenomenal. And so she's like put me on the journey to lift that amount. So it's super important to be
That's,
lifting, like what I was lifting in 20 after a breast diagnosis. Yeah, it's quite impressive.
well, now I want to know, what are you lifting?
So excited. So
I'm so excited.
she does have me lift pretty heavy, but like doing dumbbell rows, like singular ones at 65, as
Whoa.
max. So she's having me doing some max things, and we're just playing around with, how much I can lift. I've always been a heavy lifter, but that was really impressive to be doing those things with the upper body. So I'm excited about where my body is going.
So you're doing single dumbbell rows with a
Yes, ma'am.
65-pound dumbbell.
Yes.
Wow, that's
She
some.
pushes me. That's why you have to have a personal trainer, because I probably wouldn't
Yes.
have done that on my own.
But you also got to do it right too. So having
Right.
that personal trainer to spot
Absolutely.
you and watch your form is so important. I've seen so many injuries in the gym.
Hmm.
Um, wow. I I don't even think I can lift that much. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
That is awesome. So we also talked about or you mentioned something according to your cycle. Are you referring to your menstrual cycle?
Yes. how it's pretty peaceful. It's not, a lot of women don't like to talk about it, but I think I manage it well with understanding what I'm taking in as far as food wise. So I definitely make sure that I watch what I eat before, eat more vegan-based food, plant-based foods before my cycle. I noticed that cramps aren't as heavy. So, and I'm not as irritable. I'm more tolerable.
When we get off this podcast, I'm going to send you a chart. So I do something called cycle syncing, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that. We have a 28-day plus infradian rhythm. Men have a 24-hour circadian rhythm. What that means is that a woman's biological day-to-day experience is much different than a man's, and so too should her training and nutrition be. So learning how to train, eat, and recover according to your
Right.
cycle's rhythm is next level stuff that you would thank your trainer for later. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because a lot of women don't know about that.
Yeah, you need different things. I'm extremely tired, so I don't train as much the week before. I'm very conscientious of that, and I eat accordingly. So yes, that's good information.
So when you have the most energy, that's actually during your ovulatory phase. That's when we're in the mood to make babies and the mood for love.
Yes, but I don't want
So that's
to.
when you hit it hard in the gym. That's fantastic. And, and the fact that you're 45, are you experiencing any menopausal symptoms yet?
No, and my mom keeps trying to have that conversation. It feels
Yeah.
just as bad as the period conversation when you're little. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to bleed until I can't bleed anymore, Mom.
You
I'm
know,
young still. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for this conversation.
no, I'm 50 tomorrow and I just had a period and I love my period.
Right.
I love having a period because that just means I'm not in menopause yet.
Yes,
I'm
that's
still
right.
like clockwork. So,
Exactly.
being 50 and entering this new decade is a little bit scary, but as long as I have my period, I am happy.
You're holding on. Yeah, I feel you.
But if you're in tune with if you're in touch with your hormones and you're in touch with what you need to eat during that time or during the certain phases, you're not going to have the PMS symptoms.
Right.
You're not going to have the bloating. You're not going to have the cramping. You're not going to have the irritability. Um, and I'm just not, like I said, not many women know about that. So the fact that it's really, really refreshing, and I'm totally excited.
Yeah, and I think more women should talk about, the management of the cycle. We really don't digestive system health. I think we don't discuss that as much as we should.
No, we don't. And I think it's because a lot of women don't quite understand it. And it's also when you go see your doctor doesn't discuss it with you.
But
You
absolutely
know,
not.
the only people that would probably discuss it would be more of the naturopaths and people in the holistic um, industry. The body is incredible. It does amazing things and it can actually heal on its own without adding any synthetic stuff to it.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And I think it's by design. Maybe we don't have to go into that. That if you're constantly sick and naturopathic, if you're under the care of a naturopathic physician, you don't see them that often. I just say, like, I see my naturopathic maybe 3 to 4 times a year, quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm going to give you this regimen. Here's what you do, and I'll see you. And so between times, you're really working on understanding your own body. We can call them for feedback, but it's really you in the naturopathic healing cycle, understanding who you are, doing the work. And I don't know if Western medicine actually encourages you to do the work, you to develop a relationship with your body, you to develop a relationship where you're at mentally. I think it's like a really lot of quick fixes that we have going on.
I like to say that external transformation follows internal healing. And that truly is what it's about, is you've got to heal from the inside out to see any changes on the outside. You had mentioned something off camera. You're talking about how everybody is okay with being overweight. And I love the fact that there's an acceptance. You're overweight, you're carrying a little extra weight. Yes. And I love the fact that we are encouraged to love our bodies and accept ourselves.
Right.
But are we willing to accept the health problems associated with that?
Right.
not me.
Absolutely. I think there has to come a time where we actually correlate overweightness with what can happen later on in life. Maybe at 20, being a little, fluffier, 30, a little fluffier, you're not going to see those symptoms. But I will guarantee you, by the time you're in your late 30s, you're going to start to see some of those things that some of us have experienced. And when you become really into your 40s, reversing that is a little bit harder. So I think it's great. Yes, please not have a toxic relationship with your body, but the overweightness is an indicator that there's probably some eating problems, hormonal problems. We're very,
Stress.
very indulgent. Stress, which causes hormonal problems, and it's just feedback. I always like to say, when you take a look at us, 40s, 50s, in the 90s, turn of 2000, I think a lot of us were naturally a little bit more thinner. Like if you look at the television stars and even ourselves, a little bit more fit, a little bit more thinner since GMO's been introduced into the diet, more indulgent culture, the pandemic. I think we now need to go back to a healthier lifestyle and being more conscientious. And us 40-year-olds, we really need, and 50, almost 50, we need to talk about what we're seeing happening to us, because we are now matriarchs of the conversation that, hey, 30 somethings and 20 somethings, I know you are beautiful, but guess what? This is what's happening. High blood pressure, knee replacements,
Hip
diabetes,
replacement,
all
diabetes.
this is the POCs trending right now. That's
Mhm.
not hot. And we're having to deal with it in our ages. And, let's have very vulnerable conversations about, let's get back to health.
And a lot of women will use age as an excuse why they've gained so much weight, or they might use menopause as an excuse. Oftentimes, it isn't menopause. Um, I once thought that I was going through menopause because I was so fatigued. I was gaining weight. I didn't know what was going on with me. I was 45 years old, but it wasn't that. It was my lifestyle. It was my environment that I was living in. It was the stress that was affecting me. And when I decided to make that change in my life and pinpointed my problem and came to terms with what I needed to do in my life, that's when I dropped the weight. That's when my health problems went away and my periods became regular again, and I didn't have any more issues. Um, so, getting to the root of the problem internally is so important.
Absolutely. I would say that stress is a huge thing. I don't think we talk about that as how it does create an influx. My body is so sensitive to stress. So you have to talk about the insulin levels. You have to talk about just things that can trigger weight gain. And once you identify those, you can just modify. But I think it's just more like, in our culture, really a quick fix, or now it's just not even a quick fix. It's just ignoring it now.
Mm-hmm.
And just the full on not getting to the root of the problem. And so that's going to cause, in my mind, probably some generational things that we've never seen before in the future.
Oh, for sure. I already can see it. And I love the fact that we've talked about inner work. I love the fact that you've done the inner work on yourself. And I'm sure that you can relate to this because I've done some inner work too. Once we step back and we step outside of ourselves and we heal ourselves internally, we look around us and there are so many people just walking around. You can just see the stress that they're carrying on their shoulders. You can just feel that energy.
Right. Yep. A lot of energetic work. I think it comes down to, when you do that, you then start to develop the self-value, a high self-concept. So all the other things fall into place. Like if you have a high self-concept, high self-value, naturally you'll probably maybe eat a little differently. If there's so much weight, as far as a businesswoman or someone who is, still in motherhood and they have all these pressures and stuff, when you're healthier, you're going to have more of a healthier relationship with the kids, healthier work style. So they all kind of bleed into each other. The inner work makes you correct a lot of those things in life, and as a result, it will be value. And if you have that value, it just makes you move differently.
Absolutely. The relationship with self is so important. And you and I basically come from the same generation. And I love the fact that you brought up the whole generational trauma because our I know that my family grew up with that generational trauma, and it was a vicious cycle, but it stops with me.
Right.
Stops with me. Stops with you.
Yeah, just
Now, wait,
breaking these generational curses, breaking these curses.
so wait a minute. You're a tax professional, right?
Yes, that was a huge trigger. I will tell you, energetically, money and the pandemic triggered
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that. So yes, I am. And I've been doing this for, I've been exposed for 10 years, but I've had a brick and mortar for 7. And again, I own it with my son, and I focus on developing business owners. It's a little different now. I do taxes. Yay, taxes is what you see. But if you are on a one-on-one with me, we're going to go ahead and develop the mind, because mind and money are related. So that's probably a different conversation. But yeah, I do help my closest clients in different ways to make sure that they're living abundantly in their entrepreneurial journey.
I love that. How you say mind and money are connected.
Mind, body, mind,
Mind,
money.
money. Yes,
It's
absolutely. And you'd like them to live abundantly. And when you say abundantly, it doesn't necessarily mean abundantly in money. It can be abundantly in self-worth.
everything,
Everything.
everything.
Some people spend because um, they feel like there's something missing in their life. So they
Right.
will spend carelessly to fulfill a problem or to fulfill a void. So let's talk about the Get It program really quickly. I went on your website and I did a little bit of research, and I did see you write about that whole mind, money, connection, mindset.
Yeah. So I do consulting with businesses, depending on where I'm at, because taxes is definitely the thing that I lead with. But through my Get It program platform, I definitely help people get their mind right, get into formation, and pretty much scale their business. So I work with business owners who are out of kind of growth mode, getting beat up. They've been beat up and they're like ready to take off. So we can take a look at how financially we can scale them. And then I put them in touch with resources to help them grow their business. But we talk about mindset. And I've done thousands of taxes, and I can tell you, it's no different from your world of fitness as it relates to the creation of money, creating. Let's get where we create it. We're creators. It's no different. I can see clients have been with me 6 or 7 years, and the mind shifts, and it's reflecting on how they do their business and how much revenue they're generating, because it's all comes back to that self-concept.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like I'm doing a different type of a work. Yes, again, tax office, maybe, but some of my spiritual clients call me the tax oracle. So I kind of do a little bit of work,
I love that.
a
The
little
tax
bit of work.
oracle.
Like, yeah, so I'm able to kind of like create narratives for them, and, open up their minds and help them see things that they may not see their greatest potential as it relates to their business.
You know what? I like that. When somebody recognizes their greatest potential, they will start doing better. And oftentimes we see somebody else's potential. Like we see greatness in them. They don't even see it. And it's so frustrating. You want to shake them.
I
And I've
shake
been
them.
there. I've been there. I've been
I
that
know
person
you.
who didn't see the potential. And I have, associates are like, Doreen, don't you know what you're capable of? And I'm like, no, no. But it goes down to doing that inner work and
Right.
soul searching. And then once you finally find yourself, then you're able to glow up.
Yeah. My mentor says that once you get to that point, because I have done like really studying, Hermetic principles, universal law, you live fully expressed, is the way that Leos do.
I love
Leos are like
that.
the courageous sign, right? Living
Yes.
fully expressed. I'm like, why is all this momentum? Why is it coming so
Are you a
easy?
Leo?
I have a Leo Mars.
All right.
Yeah, so the Mars is a very
That
powerful,
is, that
that's
is.
a powerful sign. So it always comes out in Leo season. So
I
yeah,
love that. I love my Leos. I love my lionesses.
yes. So just living fully expressed, courageous, those are things that I like to lead by and help bring that out in others.
I want you to send me that quote. Living Fully Expressed.
Living Fully
I
Expressed.
got a
Yes.
post. I got a post for you, a special one.
Okay.
You've inspired
Okay.
me. So before we close up, how can our audience get in touch with the Tax Oracle?
So you can find me on the Adrian Trice on IG. I'm the Adrian Trice on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm just Adrian Trice. And then my business is DNA Fin Solutions. So we're all over the place. My team does a really good job at
I
making
have
sure, and the Get It
Get It
program.
program, yes.
Yep.
But I do know that when they go to your IG, the Adrian Trice, you have your link tree there. You have
Yep.
all your links. And I believe so on your Facebook as well.
Yeah, so you can just find me. And if you have any questions as it relates to, taxes, I am available, but I'm working with an executive coach and we'll be offering all of these concepts that we talked about today over the next year or so.
Well, thank you for joining us. I have never met a tax professional like you.
Oh, well,
I
thank
love
you.
that you're so spiritual. Um, you're hired.
Thank
Anyways,
you.
thank you for joining the Sisterhood Spotlight. Please follow us on social media at Sisterhood Extravaganza. For any questions or comments, please email us at sisterextravaganza@gmail.com and come visit our website at sisterhoodextravaganza.org. And if you're looking for a sisterly connection with some amazingly empowering women, we are here for you. And before I close, I want to leave you with this advice. Motivate yourself from within, educate your mind, and manifest that life you so desire. Thank you.
Thank you.